Well, gamers, Christmas is past, but it's still winter, which means it's still freaking damn cold outside, so I just will bundle up first of all. And of course, ringing the new year of 2016 with a winter-related game, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Sports. Okay, I know there's been a handful of Mario and Sonic games, of course starting with this one, which I already reviewed, and my reaction was, decent, you know, with a few control problems here and there. So what do I say about this one? Sort of the same thing, but a little bit of improvement, but shall I get into more detail? Let's do it. So I can honestly say with just like the first game, it's nice and colorful, but of course, just like the first game, some games are good, then others are okay, but let's get into more detail. Now of course you got your regular events, just like the last game, and dream events. But before we get to that, let's obviously cover the regular events first. You know, of course you got different winter sports that you'd expect, like skiing, snowboarding, skating, figure skating, bobsledding, hockey, and curling. If you're familiar with those particular Olympic sports that take place obviously in the refrigerated cold temperatures. But control-wise, yeah. Many of the games, like I just said before, they differ depending on which one you're playing. You got your basic skiing, where one you're by yourself and you're basically the timer determines how well you do, and then you got other ones where you race against other opponents, computer opponents, unless you're playing multiplayer, you know, against actual human players. And of course, you also can be an asshole towards the other opponent and pretty much throw every person off. You got the moguls, you got, of course, the skiing jump where you have to jump, and this one I have a little bit of trouble with, as you can tell. One, of course, is individual, where you select only one player, and then you got another called team, where you select up to 4 players. Yeah, so your timing and perfection is pretty much counted all together with 4 other players. So it varies. And then, of course, you got snowboarding, and just like skiing, there's one where you race against human or computer players at the same time on the track. You can throw other players off, so forth. And then there's another one where you're under a time constraint. Try to make the quickest time possible. But, well, also doing half-pipe tricks as well in the snow. Pretty cool. But only difference is, both of them don't require a nunchuck. In fact, they don't even use the nunchuck in these. I also should mention that some of these games, basically skiing you'd expect to be obviously compatible and require both the Wiimote and nunchuck. But then there's some, like snowboarding, like I just said, and a handful of others that don't require it. Usually you get notified right before starting the event. So, it's pretty self-explanatory. And now on to the different types of skating. Yeah, we got quite a few skating games here. There's 3 of them, and unfortunately, unlike skiing and snowboarding, none of them are solo games. You're always racing against somebody. Or somebody's team, I should say. Only one that you're solo on is, of course, the figure skating, which I'll get to in a minute, but the basic skating races are 500 meter, 1000 meter, and then, of course, the relay skating. The 500 meter is, of course, shorter than the 1000 meter, only with slightly different Wii motion gestures. And then, of course, the relay one is, well, you choose 4 players instead of just 1, and as you'd expect, it's a relay race across the ice. Not too bad, but I seem to have trouble, as you can tell, getting around the turns, yeah. And, well, it really also wears on my hand quite a lot. And then figure skating. This one actually is pretty easy to learn, though I really wish there was more music variation in this one, but what do you expect? But otherwise, the controls are pretty self-explanatory, pretty fluent, and it's easy to follow. I like this one. And out of all the speed skatings, I like the 500 meter. Again, easy to follow compared to the other 2. Bobsledding, okay, this one actually would have been great if it wasn't so picky with you trying to get on these speed boosters, because if you have to be 100% on these speed booster things on the turns, otherwise you're not going to speed up quick enough, and no matter what, I could never get into first place. And I seem to have this problem with a few other games in this collection, so yeah, this one's okay. Speed and accuracy is key. I'm not kidding. So I guess you could say I don't exactly have enough cool runnings for this one. There's also another version of bobsledding called skeleton, which is basically tobogganing. You know, you're on your belly and, well, pretty much the same rules apply. You gotta keep on those speed boosts. Time and accuracy is key once again. Only difference is instead of 4 players, it's just 1. It's a solo race against time. Ice hockey. This one, again, is okay. The camera views are actually not bad, but the controls are a little bit tricky to learn and are really tough to explain too. I find myself really having a hard time just getting one goal, but then again, it's not that hard either. Tough to explain, but it can be just average to say the least. But I find myself going back to play Mario Strikers, and even that can be very chaotic too and tough to learn. Okay, curling. This one is probably my least favorite because I can never figure out the controls on this one. I know I said this before with a lot of these games, but this one is not my favorite. Because, really, I find myself just fiddling with the controls trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do here, and it makes me look like a freaking idiot. And of course you also get points unlocked too, no matter even how bad you do. And just to upgrade or buy different equipment at the store, which I should get into right now. Yeah, you can get different equipment like skis and clothes and stuff, so yeah, if you like doing that and customizing your character and so forth, but you can also use the Mii characters. And you can unlock different music and stuff in case you like playing music when you're not in the event. And now onto the Dream Events. Oh boy, what do we got for Dream Events? Basically the same games as I showed you before, a good mix with boxes added in. Yeah, they juiced it up with these boxes. Looks familiar, right? Yeah, Mario Kart, of course, but I don't think this is the most blatant ripoff. I mean, I've seen worse ripoffs of Mario Kart than this, and this can actually be pretty enjoyable. Would be nice to have an online feature, which leads me to my next problem, online. Again, it says it's Wi-Fi compatible. What the hell is up with that, Nintendo or Sega, whatever? There's no Wi-Fi compatibility. Why the hell did it say that on there? I know Nintendo Wii and Wii U are still lacking Wi-Fi, but what the hell do you slap the logo on there for? You're basically cheating us right there. But anyway, if you can get over the pretty awkward controls occasionally, this could actually be pretty enjoyable. But let's face it, it's not as good as Mario Kart. I mean, nothing will ever top Mario Kart when it comes to racing games with item boxes and being an asshole towards the other player, right? But my favorite newest addition has to be Snowball Fight. Again, if you can get over all the awkward controls, this can actually be pretty enjoyable. Kind of reminds me more of Snow Dodgeball, really. That's what I call it, because really that's all it is. And again, you get an item box which can help you cheat and pretty much act like an asshole towards the other opponents. Well, pretty much isn't that what you're doing? You're throwing snowballs at the opponents? Ranking up points? Yep, pretty much. And it's a blast. Again, if you can get over the awkward controls, it can be. Well, I did almost forget there's also a thing called Game Party. Like Mario Party perhaps? Yeah, pretty much. Of course, just like Mario Kart, they had also copy Mario Party. Again, it's nowhere near as good, but actually comes pretty close to being almost as enjoyable. There's one with balloon popping, there's one with spinning the wheel, and then there's one that pretty much looks like a board game that complete random, you move at spaces, and pretty much every game you just select a complete random, a game out of the whole collection, out of this whole collection to be exact. Whether it's skiing, sledding, dream events, you name it. Chosen a complete random. Oh, and there's also a festival mode, and to keep it short and sweet, it's basically just a 9-day span of training and to get you up to a big event, supposedly. And the games don't need much explanation. I've pretty much already explained them. Skiing, slope jumping, and so forth, so not much to explain there. Just training, simple as that, training. So, in case you like to go a little over the top with the whole Olympic training thing, then that's for you. Oh, and yes, the game is obviously compatible with the Wii Fit balance board. I guess I'll give it a shot, why not, right? So there you have it. I tried the Wii Fit balance board on this game, and yeah, it's pretty awkward. I mean, the controls, regular controls without it, can be awkward enough. I don't think I need it to be a lot any worse than what it already is. Not that it's really terrible, but obviously we all know with a lot of other games that are compatible with it that just don't work right. The only game to obviously try, or games, plural, is this one and Wii Fit Plus. So, pretty much, so these are the games that are obviously made for the Wii Fit balance board. Otherwise, I just basically stick to the basic controls. You know, the Wiimote and Nunchuck. But it's a nice try, Nintendo and Sega, whenever a company tries to throw their hat in on the whole idea. I know there's obviously other Mario and Sonic games that came after this, like the 2012 Olympics, and there's more yet to come, as well as for the DS handheld consoles, but honestly, these are, you know, what you expect. Controls and the games aren't perfect, but that's what you expect. So, only decent, that's all I can say. So, can't say they gave me nothing, but I don't know. They're decent. So, my final verdict with this game in particular, I give it just a plain 2 modes up. I can't say I was completely dissatisfied. I mean, it's a little bit of an improvement over the first one, but not by a whole lot. So, till next time, keep watching, and happy gaming.